In 1999, on their 7th studio album entitled We Kill Everything, the band Gwar released a song that explored the logistics of incorporating fish as a device to elevate the timeless act of lovemaking. As the singer states his intended uses for the animals, river carps and moas are among the fish to be inserted in various orifices. Well, as it turns out, this kinda sorta happened to a couple of Redditors in Sweden. And there's puke involved. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the story of the midsummer fish fart. This video is sponsored by Helix. Helix is a premium mattress and a box company that makes mattresses designed to fit your unique needs and preferences based on your body type and sleep style. I've had my Helix mattress now for a little over a year and it's still some of the best sleep I've had. The neck pain I had been experiencing went away pretty quickly and it's yet to return. The first thing you do is go to their website and take the sleep quiz. Personally, I like a soft mattress and I'm a side sleeper, so Helix determined that their Sunset mattress was the best option for me. Once Helix matches you up with the right mattress, it's delivered right to your door for free in the US. Comes rolled up in a box and it's super easy to set up yourself. And you get a 100-night sleep trial to see if Helix is right for you. That's more than 3 months. And if you don't like the mattress, they'll pick it up right from your door and issue a full refund. If you do like it, each Helix mattress comes with a 10-year warranty. Just click the link below or go to helixsleep.com/wang. You'll get up to $200 off your Helix Sleep mattress and 2 free pillows. This infamous gross Reddit tale comes from a thread in January of 2014. A post by bgrizzly62 entitled, "What is your best/worst drunken sexual encounter story? NSFW." We got a story about dick blood. Not to be confused with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, whose real name actually is Dick Blood. Amazing that with a name like Dick Blood, he played a babyface his entire career. You got a guy who fell asleep multiple times during sex and then bragged about how many times he had sex that night because he was counting each time he was awake as a new time. But as is often the case with these threads, you got one story that became the story of the whole thread. One legendary response to become part of the pantheon of horrible Reddit stories. So we got the fish fart vomit story, sometimes referred to as the fish mitten. It's told by a Swedish user named Chuff Nugget. He begins, "Have you heard of surstromming? It's rotten fermented herring, the smell of which induces a gag reflex that actually makes it impossible to eat for most normal people." He kinda gets to that description of surstromming a little quick, but I think it's necessary to hammer home just how vile this stuff is. Considered by many to be the actual worst smelling food that exists in the world, it has its origins in a 16th century preservation process that involves 6 months of fermentation. You can go on YouTube and watch tons of non-Swedish people opening cans of surstromming and gagging on the smell, trying to actually eat and hold this crap down. You even got a video of PewDiePie subjecting Rhett and Link to it. You also got Swedish people giving us instructions on how to properly eat it, which involves opening the can in a bucket as far away as you possibly can from where you actually intend to eat it. Here's an example of how bad this smells. In the 80s, a German landlord evicted one of his tenants for opening surstromming in the hallway. That sounds a little unreasonable, so it all got taken to court. And the landlord winds up winning his case after he opens up a can in the courtroom and everyone is like, "Oh yeah, this is unacceptable." These cans are so full of shitty fish gas that some airlines have banned them. Not just because of the smell, but because of a belief that they can be potentially used as explosives. There's a lot better ways to preserve a fish in the 21st century. Yet surstromming still persists because it's considered to be such an important part of Swedish culture, particularly consumed as a part of midsummer ragers. As PewDiePie puts it,
"So you eat this."
We get really drunk and we eat that.
I don't know how hard PewDiePie likes to party, but something tells me he's never had a midsummer quite like this one. Chuff Nugget continues, "Midsummer in Sweden is one hell of a party, and I can't remember a single midsummer where people haven't got royally rat-arsed or fallen over while dancing around the giant phallic symbol that we erect for the party." See what you did there, Chuff Nugget. Anyway, for those curious, here's the phallic symbol, the maypole. Mine doesn't quite look like that, but I can see what they're going for. You got a little pee hole and a couple balls there dangling off the phallus. And here's a picture of some guys erecting the pole. "Rinsing your recently abused palate of rotten fish with large quantities of vodka and aquavit can get you more drunk than you care to imagine. But As for the frog dance, there is no excuse. The frog dance apparently being a dance where they literally jump up and down like frogs. So after a day of dancing around the big dick, jumping up and down and eating rotten fish and getting as drunk as you possibly fucking can, 6 a.m. comes around and it's time to get out of there. At this point, Chuff Nugget and his lady have put in a solid 20-something hour day of partying. And eating the grossest food in the world. It's time for a better kind of up and down. The fucking kind. 6 a.m. and the missus and I have swayed home in the lazy and meandering way that drunks have perfected over an eternity of liver abuse. We were determined to nail each other to the bed when we get home. Now, to be fair to her, she was awesome in bed. It's just that this night was about to go wrong. Terribly, terribly wrong. It's been 20 hours of drinking, so not only is Chuff Nugget struggling to stand up straight, but his dick ain't faring no better than that. So they turned to their tried and true method of manifesting hard cock from scratch. Mrs. Nugget decided that, as sitting on my face was always a dead cert for trouser snake charming, she'd hoik her grass-stained dress up and ride my face. This she did. Rather hard. I'm not only used to this, but a great fan. My tongue worked away at her feverishly. Her cute, puckered, barking spider, a bare few millimeters from my nose. I was in heaven. And, riding my face like a drunken pro, so was she. Despite the initially troublesome circumstances, they salvaged the night. He's kind of struggling a little bit to breathe in the position that he's in, but they're having a great time, they're getting close to orgasm, and then it happens. We both came, and, as fate would have it, the orgasm ripping through her body caused her to grind down harder on my face and fart, forcefully injecting undiluted rectal gases into my air-hungry nose. A full force and totally ripe, hot surstromming fart. Far worse than the initial burst of smell from the tin. Clean up my nostrils. And remember that just the normal smell burst from the initial can opening already qualifies this food to many people as the worst smelling food that exists on all of planet Earth across all cultures. A smell so bad that people make reaction videos smelling it on YouTube so they can throw up because it's funny. The reaction was instant, and, completely unaware of her crime and mistaking my convulsions as throes of ecstasy, Mrs. Nugget ground down harder on my face as I gasped for air. I know you guys like to party. So you know how just doubling over and getting that tiny bit of air can make all the difference when you're at the precipice of yakking. But there's nothing here for him. He's fucking suffocating. He's wearing a pussy gas mask, a fucking V95. The enormity of my horror peaked as, in the full grip of natural bodily rejection, I hoyed my alcohol-rich stomach content, including a large amount of undigested rotten fish, straight up her pink mitten. And now, under normal circumstances, like I said, you get that little air bit of you. If you do puke a little bit, you can kind of brace it a little, it's just like, you're just like, oh, bleh, I fucking puked, right? But this is one of those pukes where his body is fighting to survive. He's suffocating in there. You know that shit launched out of him like a fucking cannon. If she was pregnant, that baby is learning how to swim tonight. As the fetid herring now, deeply stuck in my nostrils, caused me to start a gagging fit that threatened to be my last, she ran, screaming to the bathroom, leaving a trail of stomach acid, alcohol, and rotten chunks of fish behind her on the floor as it gushed from her burning snatch. Just picture it. You've been partying all day, having a wonderful time with your man, 20 hours of getting shit-faced at your nation's centuries-old cultural celebration. You go home, you have a good cum, you're on top of the world, and then, boom, your pussy is full of vomit and the chunks of the most disgusting fish on planet Earth. It's banned from airplanes, but it's inside of you. That's a hell of an emotional roller coaster right there. So, with all that being said, where are Chuff Nugget and his lady these days? You might be surprised to find out that they are no longer together. But ultimately, he did have a happy ending. This is amazing. Are you still with said lady? No, I'm not. I'm with one who detests surstromming now, and have been for a few years, kids and all. So, even if her rusty sheriff's badge loses control, it'll never be as bad as that night. And that's the story of the Redditor who puked fish guts into his girlfriend's pussy. If you like this video, check out my video about the guy who turned his amputated leg into tacos and fed it to his friends. I'm out.